What's up, everybody? I'm Rook.
And I'm Archon.
And this is another wonderful episode of Raw and Nerdy. I'm going to stop saying the episode number. I just like saying it's an episode.
Another episode, yeah. If you want to know the episode number, go figure it out.
Actually, if you look...
How we get to 100?
Episode 100 will definitely be called episode 100. Because,
okay, good.
It's 100.
Good.
I think we should do every 50s. Yeah, they're big milestones hitting those.
Sure.
So today is an interesting week. A couple of weeks ago, Magic the Gathering released a set of cards collaborating with Final Fantasy. Today's main topic, after our weeks and whatnot, are going to be talking about those cards.
Yeah, I've been kind of itching to talk about them for a couple of weeks, but I wanted to get into the Brooks avionics and stuff last week. And, I'm a big fan. If you listen to the show, I'm a big Final Fantasy fan. So, this has been kind of cool for me. And some of the cards are just wicked cool. So, yeah, I'm excited to talk about it. And they're expensive. Some of them are worth a ton of money.
Dude, they're so popular. People are buying them out before other people can get them. My brother had to go to like 3 different stores to find a set pack, and he went to GameStop, which is now not just video game store; it's an everything gaming store.
They don't even have them out here anymore. They closed down. Well, they have the storefront locations, but they don't have any of the mall locations anymore.
Yeah, they still have storefronts here. They have a couple of mall ones, but not every mall has them anymore out here. But they had the Magic the Gathering cards, and they actually limited people on how many they could buy.
Yeah, there's a game store right down the street from mine. I was actually thinking about going and buying a pack today, but I would have had to convince my wife that she wants me to do that, so I didn't feel like I wanted to test that boundary.
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah, not quite.
Anyhow, let's get into our usual. How's your week going?
I actually had kind of a fun week this week. I didn't work insane amount of hours just because of weather some days, and then other days just my biggest downfall with my job is the communication. The communication sucks. They just sometimes will forget to call people or text people and let them know start times or whatnot because we're limited by the weather because we work outside. So when it is nice, they just they're like, oh, we didn't work yesterday. We just won't remember to text people and let them know what time to be in the next day. And I'm not the type of person who's just going to randomly show up at a random time because we don't ever start at the same time ever. Mm-hmm. Some days we start at 6. Some days we start at 10. Some days we start at 3 in the afternoon if we have late jobs. I don't know unless somebody tells me. So there was a few days this week I could have worked, but nobody bothered to let me know. So I just didn't. And I don't know. I'm kind of in the same boat right now. Nobody's let me know for tomorrow yet either. So they don't let me know soon. I'm just going to put my phone on Do Not Disturb and go to bed. And
yeah, it's a little ridiculous that the person that's scheduling all these jobs isn't staying in touch as like he should be.
Yeah, it's nutty. I don't know. And then yesterday, one of the guys was like, "Hey, we gotta go down and seal coat this job down 2 hours south. Do you want to come? Are you available to come?" I was like, "Well, when do you need to go?" He goes, "Well, we need to be at the shop in an hour." I live 45 minutes from the shop, so it's like, well, thanks for giving me 15-minute heads up. Come on, dude. I barely had time to even get ready. It was nuts.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So I didn't work a ton, but I got to play a lot of Dune, which...
Dude, that game's so addicting.
It's one of those where it's we were talking earlier, yeah, we should probably start getting ready to record.
It's
we're
crazy
playing
how it's
so much fun.
It's crazy how addicting this game is.
We should do an episode where we're just playing the game and having our screens on here too. And no, I'm just kidding. That would be kind of an awesome episode, but no.
Yeah, that would take a lot of work.
There's just so much to that game, and I think the reason why I like it so much is because I have been playing it religiously probably 120, 130 plus hours at least into it. And today I ran across, 2 or 3 different things that I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, okay. Learn something completely new about it. And like, I'm still nowhere near max level. I think max level's 200, and I think I'm somewhere around like 140-ish. So I
You
still
got me
got
beat
work
by
to do.
20.
There's tons of quests I still haven't done. I haven't done most of the class quests yet, like to unlock the different trees and the different skills. I still have tons of intel points to find so that I can unlock the rest of my research tree. It's just, I got, like, one of my friends just blew through all the quests. And then me, I'm over here like, I don't know. I feel like I've farmed probably 90% of the materials that we've used for all of our building. All of us. I've probably farmed about 90% of them.
I will say, for my new base, you farmed about 75%, and I've done the last 25%.
Well, and even probably 10 or 15% of the 25% you did, I did with you.
Oh, yeah, true.
So, like, it's like, I get in these like modes where I just want to just go out and farm a bunch of materials or just like build stuff. And like, I ended up building a big old huge base, and it was like this big massive compound base. And of course, Rook came and saw and was like, well, now I need to build something bigger and better. I have to one up you. So now I have to make my base bigger now, because it's just, I don't need to, but I have to because Rook did. And it's just one of those where I'm just like, and then I ran into 2 major issues. One, they changed the game a little, where the main end game area, the deep desert, they made half of it, well, like a little more than a third of it, into a PvE zone, and the rest of it is still all PvP, because a lot of people were upset with like the griefers and everything that come with any game that has PvP. And I was in an area, I'm 100% it was a PvE area. I had the yellow bar. I was PvP. I stopped. I went to go get some spice, and some dude just came and just blew me out of the water. Just blew my ship up, launched rockets at me, killed me, lost all my stuff. Every bit of it. Lost my copter, like all my stuff, except for what I was wearing, of course. So I'm like, awesome. And I had to have Rook come bail me out, because I had 2 options. It was either respawn there in the deep desert, but I can't leave because the only way in or out is with a copter, and my copter just got blown up, or respawn back at my base in Haga Basin and lose everything. So if you respawn in a different zone, you lose everything, including all your armor and everything. So he came and rescued me. I built a new copter after much farming. I had to get tons of materials to build a new copter. Then I had to use that copter to go get the materials to make the better copter that I wanted. And then I finally got up and going again, and I was out farming some spice. I was in Haga Basin, which is a PvE zone, and I was farming some spice, and I saw the worm coming, and I'm like, all right, I better get out of here. I hopped in my ornithopter and went to go fly away, and it like glitched, and it got stuck in the ground, and it wouldn't take off. It just kept like hopping and staying there, and I got out of it and got back in it and tried it again, and it wouldn't move. It just kept hopping, and I got out of it again, and I went to go try and like use my backup tool to get rid of it so that I could like run away or something, and the worm got me. And when the worm gets you, you lose everything, all the armor on you, all your copter again. So then I had to make another copter. It took me almost a whole day to replace all my armor. So frustrating.
Man, that happened last night, correct?
Yesterday, like afternoon, yeah.
Yeah. It literally did take 24 hours, because you just got the mats you needed to make your pants.
Yeah, I just
I'm running around without pants.
I had pants. I just had really crappy pants. Like, they weren't good. They were like the cheapest thing I could make until I could make good ones. But yeah, I was running around with no pants for like at least 8 hours though. Then I finally got some crappy ones. Then I finally made my good ones and completed everything I needed today. and now I'm back up and running again. Hopefully I don't run into any more glitches.
Hopefully.
But yeah, and then what was it? Tuesday or Wednesday? I don't remember. But my mother-in-law came over and she's like, I'm gonna borrow, 2 of your kids for the night. And I was like, oh well, if you take the 2 older ones, then my youngest one's gonna be sad because no one's gonna be here. And she's like, okay, fine, I'll take him too. So my daughter was out with her boyfriend and the other 3 were gone, and I'm like, I look at my wife, I'm like, date night? She's like, yes, let's do something. So we decided to go out and get some dinner, and then we went and saw the live action How to Train Your Dragon because I've
How
been
was it?
wanting to see it. I've heard great things about it. There's people out there complaining about it, of course, because Astrid's not blonde and Rough Nut and Tough Nut aren't blonde, and so the whole movie's terrible. Let me tell you, this movie was the standard that they should follow for all live action remakes. It was one of the best live action remakes I've ever seen in my life. I rank it 100% at number 1 out of all the live actions I've ever seen. It was so good. It was basically a shot-for-shot remake, which is what you want from a live-action remake. All the characters, even though they looked slightly different than they could have, like a couple of the characters, like for instance, Rough Nut, they made like heavier instead of like 2 skinny characters, like one's heavier. But I thought that just added to the comedy, especially like the line in the movie where they're like, oh yeah, we're twins. You didn't know? Our mom can't even tell us apart. And just because one of them's heavy and one of them's not, I was dying laughing. It was hilarious.
Nice.
But like, even though they look slightly different, they get the attitudes, they get the mannerisms, they get the characters like spot on. Like, they did a phenomenal job. And the dragons, so good. They look exactly like they should. It's just very well done. Gerard Butler plays Stoic again, and he's perfect. Like, I love the movie. I thought it was absolutely amazing.
Well, to think about it, the dragons should be pretty good because they're nothing but CGI. So
Yeah, they're
going
CGI.
from animation and just modifying the textures to look realistic, I would assume it to look good. But with the other actors, the more I read into it, the more I was like, yeah, it makes sense that based on her ability to act as the female lead, she is a good actress, and that's why they picked her.
She nailed it.
Yeah, that's why they picked her.
Great job. She nailed the character. I mean, everything about it gave me Astrid vibes, except for the fact that she wasn't blonde. I mean, and who cares? I don't care what her hair color is, as long as she acts and does a good job. Like, as long as she can play the character, and that's what she did, and it was great. And then Friday, my brother-in-law and his family came over because it was hot and everybody wanted to swim and we wanted to have like a little barbecue. So we had a barbecue and we were all just sitting around talking and stuff while the kids were swimming. And my brother-in-law was like, you told me you really like the movie Ready Player One, right? And I was like, yeah, of course. I love that movie. It's one of my favorite movies. I thought it was very well done. It's super entertaining. I had never read the book or anything, but he's like, you should read the book, or at very least listen to the audiobook. And I'm like, I probably should, because I never thought about it. Like, I could do the audiobook. I love listening to audiobooks. Mm-hmm. So Saturday, when I went to go do that job, it was 2 hours away, and we stopped at the gas station, and I looked on Audible, and there it was. And not only was it like I have a bunch of credits to use anyway, so I was like, I'm going to get it. And then I noticed that it's narrated by Will Wheaton. And I was like, hey, that is awesome. So, like, and one of the things that I really found hilarious is the book is way different than the movie. Way different. And it's solely based, like, it talks a lot more about Holiday and what he was like and how he had like an obsession with the 80s. Mm-hmm. And like at one point they mention, like, in the book, they mention Will Wheaton and like make fun of Will Wheaton. And then you're hearing Will Wheaton insulting himself, basically. It's hilarious.
That is funny.
But
I wonder
like,
what his thought process is when he's
oh, he
reading.
probably thought it was hilarious. He probably thought it was hilarious.
Probably took a few takes to get through that.
You could tell when he was reading it that he was like, he had a smile on his face as he was reading that part. But yeah, I mean, the book is way, in my opinion, it's way better than the movie. It's not one of those books that you read like Aragon where you're like, oh my gosh, I hate the movie now. Like, I still love the movie and I still think it's great. I think what they did was they just modernized the movie. Instead of making it about the 80s, they made it about more like more recent pop culture so that it would
Oh yeah.
resonate with the audiences a little better. But the book, it's so good. And like all the it's still got the same premise. Like, Halliday dies, he has the contest for the Oasis where if you find the Easter egg, you got to find the 3 keys to unlock the gates and stuff like that. And like, the winner who finds the Easter egg first gets his fortune and controlling interest in the thing. So like, the main premise of it's different, but like, the trials and everything are way different. Like,
Okay.
the first trial has nothing to do with a race through New York with King Kong and stuff following you and chasing you, and like, has nothing to do with any of that. Like, it's completely different.
I'll have to read the books. As you can
They're
see, I
really
got
good.
a lot of books back here that I haven't read yet.
And if you don't have time to read it, get the audiobook because it's worth it. It's really good, especially read by Will Wheaton.
I gotta listen to it just because he reads it. Because if
I think he does Ready Player 2 too. I think
if
he reads
James Marsden is anything, if it's anything as good as he did, then it'll be enjoyed.
Oh, he does a very good job. So so far, I'm loving it. I'm only about a little over 4 hours in. The point in which I'm at right now, he just found the first key, and he was the first one to find the first key, and his name popped up on the leaderboard and everything, and he's like, oh crap, that means I'm gonna be like super famous now. And he's realizing the impact that could have, and the fact that like billions of dollars are at stake, so like people would go out of their way to try and kill him if anybody ever found out who he was, type of thing.
Oh wow,
So he's figuring out like the gravity of the fact that his name is now number one or the only one on the leaderboard, and everybody knows his name now. So it's cool. I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. Like, I have a feeling, but yeah, that's been my week. What have you been up to?
Well, where I can, I've been fitting in Dune because my hours, suck.
You haven't got to play a whole lot.
Yeah, I work a lot. 10-hour days plus that's 10 and a half hour days, including driving and whatnot. But it's just the shift is really painful. So by the time this releases, it will have been the Monday following 4th of July weekend.
Oh, yeah.
That past week was my birthday week.
So this week.
Yeah, this coming week, day of recording.
What day is your official birthday?
Wednesday. July 2nd.
July 2nd. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't know that, and now I do. So.
Yep. So I took off from work for all next week to go from Wednesday to Monday of the following week of no work. Actually, I plan on going up to Minnesota and meeting my biological dad for the first time ever.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. I'm excited. I'm surprisingly not nervous. I'm more anxious.
Wait till you start getting close. Once you start getting close, then you might get a little bit more anxious and a little more nervous.
Nah, we had a long conversation the first time we talked, and it was about an hour-long conversation. We sat there and we talked about what he was like around the time period I was conceived, And it led to me understanding why my family didn't want me to know anything about him. But what's awesome is his claim to fame is he has 10 felonies, was still able to get a job at 3M and retire with them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Claim to fame is 10 felonies. Okay.
No, 10
All right.
felonies and retiring from a reputable company.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah. Proof that...
So you're going to be way up by my neck of the woods.
Yeah, I'll be up in Minnesota.
Not too far away.
Yeah.
Well, I say that, but it's like 10 hours to Minnesota. It's quite a ways.
Yeah.
You got to go down and around.
Yeah. It's the exact opposite direction.
Right.
Now, I'll make it out to Michigan one of these days. Was over in that area. Cool. Otherwise, it's been the week we're actually recording this. The previous week was actually pretty interesting. Got asked the one question I dread being asked at work. So for those of you who've been listening for a while, know that I transferred from a position out in California back to my home area of Texas. And my manager came out and asked me if I thought I was a fit for this job because I'd been struggling. And that opened my eyes to, I've been struggling and making these mistakes. Now I'm going to take the initiative and I'm going to fix it. And so Friday, we sat down, had a conversation, got on the same page. I showed him I'm taking the initiative to actually correct myself and be a better supervisor and do what I was hired to do. That's what I'm going to do. Ha.
Nice. Yeah, that is never the question you want to hear from your boss.
Not at all.
Sure that you think that you're right for this job. Yeah.
But what he said was, I want you, you're here. I want you here. And then his next phrase is, what can I do to help get you from down here to up here? And that is why I have good management, is he actually asked what he can do to help and actually stood by it. I've seen in the past so many bosses say, well, if you need help, you can always reach out. Just the blanket statement.
Yeah, that's not how it should work. See, that's like with my job, they're always like, one of the guys asked me, well, why didn't you just show up? What do you mean, why didn't I show up? Like, because I didn't know when we were starting. I wasn't going to show up at 6 o'clock in the morning and we're not even supposed to be there till 9, or show up at 9 and everybody's gone because you guys all got there at 6. Like, it's not my job to get a hold of you to try and figure out. It's your job to let me know when I'm supposed to be there and what job we're doing. Like, and I wish I had the type of management that you have, where it's like they're proactively like, hey, what can we do to help you? Like, what can I do to help your job get easier and help you get where you need to get?
Yep. And that's one thing I really like about this management team, is because if I got questions and it's not one that they've had to answer like 3 or 4 times, they will gladly give me advice on how to handle certain situations, how to improve. And that is the one thing I do like about this company, or at least my area of this company. And that is the reason why I can see myself retiring with this company, is because they actually care about the people under them and making them better.
Yeah, see, that's awesome. My boss, like the owner of my company, thinks that he did an awesome job because it was hot and he bought us a box of those little things that you mix in water. Like, that's how he helps.
Here's the kind of supervisor I am. The previous week, we had a crappy week. It was one where that mistake was made. And at the end of that week, I promised my guys I would make it up to them by making something homemade for food. I ended up taking them in homemade slow cooker beef stroganoff.
Oh, you just said exactly what. Oh, now I'm so jealous. I love
Hey,
beef stroganoff.
a boy can cook.
I love
uh,
beef stroganoff, dude.
so I got a 6-quart slow cooker. It was completely full. By the time shift was over, it was completely gone.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Everybody had at least 2 bowls.
Dude. Everybody would have been like, why did Derek eat all the food? I would have been mobbing on some beef stroganoff.
Yeah, they all loved it, and that's how I thank my guys, because I can't, in my position, I can't sit there with them being union. I can't promise raises, I can't promise bonuses, I can't do anything like I would normally do, but I can reward them with food. I can try to get them time off. I can try to get them recognition with management. Um, I do what I can for my people.
Right. Right. And that's all you can do. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
at least you care and you're making an effort to do things for them that you can do. I mean, that's
Oh
awesome.
yeah.
That
So anyhow,
shows your guys that you care.
that's how my week's been, sir.
Nice. Nice.
So I want to save the main topic for the last segment.
Well, yeah. Let's knock out the news.
So I got this
I
nerd
found a
news.
couple things.
Just a couple.
Just a couple. The first one that I found was that Star Wars and Coca-Cola are doing a collaboration right now. There was a trailer for it, everything on the TV, like commercial, I guess we'll say, and they're coming out with a bunch of different limited edition specialty cans again, because they've done this before. But
Mm-hmm.
it's actually kind of cool. It's called Refresh Your Galaxy campaign. It includes 30 different designs. It varies between Coca-Cola and Coke Zero, and which cans you can get depend on which drink you get. Like the original tasting Coke, you can only get let's see, you can get Lando Calrissian, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Padme, Kylo Ren, Ashoka Tano, Darth Maul, K2SO, whoever he is, Boba Fett, Poe Dameron, Din Djarin, Cassian Andor, General Grievous, and Emperor Palpatine. So if you drink regular Coke, that's what you get. Obviously, Coke prefers Coke Zero. Like Star Wars prefers Coke Zero because the Coke Zero, you can get Darth Vader, Yoda, Princess Leia, Anakin, Luke Skywalker, Chewbacca, Han Solo, BB-8, C-3PO, R2-D2, Finn, Rey, and Grogu, and an Imperial Stormtrooper. So you can tell which one they like better because all of the really cool characters, for the most part, are Coke Zero. So hopefully I'll get some of these cans. Now that I know this is out, like I drink Coke Zero, so yeah,
I will
I'm gonna
buy
try and
them
collect
just so I can try collecting all the cans, and then I'll just
get all
give
30.
away extras.
Get all 30. Yeah, I like Coke Zero. I think it tastes delicious. So I'm down for collect. I mean, they won't be full cans. I'm
See,
gonna drink them, but
here's what I would have done though. I would have done Coke and Coke Zero as all of your dark side, and then like Diet Coke and the lighter colored cans as your
yeah,
light side.
that would make sense.
Because they're red. And I'm looking at some of the art on some of these cans, and it's really cool.
Oh, see, yeah, me too. Like they are really cool, but it says it got me right here. It says, and yes, you are correct. For those who actually counted while I named off all those names, that only adds up to 27 because the other three are exclusive to Disneyland and Walt Disney World. So three of
Oh,
the cans you can only get, or three of the bottles you can only get at Disneyland or Disney World, or online. Obviously, you'll be able to buy them from people.
okay. So only available at Walt Disney Resort and Disneyland Resort. The Mandalorian and Grogu, First Order Stormtrooper, and Chewbacca.
And another Chewbacca, yeah.
But then you read about the other ones, and they mention the Mandalorian and Grogu. So I'm wondering
Grogu,
if
but there's a can. One of the cans is the
it's going to have.
Mandalorian and Grogu together.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Who wants a First Order Stormtrooper?
right.
I mean, they are
Ooh.
more accurate, but still.
Yeah, they can hit things. And aren't the First Order ones the ones that have like the lightsabers? Kind of.
The
Saber
electrical
staves.
staffs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
How dare they?
I know,
Scan
how
the
dare they?
can to gain access to a galactic AR experience where you can learn more about the campaign and collectible character designs.
Right.
Oh, that's going to be pretty cool.
And then I didn't even know this was getting a remake. I used to like this movie back, like it's a movie from like 1986 called Toxic Avenger. And it was the silliest movie about this like janitor who like gets into this toxic sludge and becomes this like anti-hero, like a Deadpool type anti-hero who doesn't mind just like absolutely murdering people. And apparently that movie's getting a remake. And I thought it was kind of silly. But then I heard that the Toxic Avenger himself is being played by Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I got so excited. So excited. That made it 100 times better in my mind. It's got the bad guys are Elijah Wood and Kevin Bacon. Like, there is no way this movie's not going to be an instant classic. It's going to be amazing.
It's going to have to.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for it, and it is so gory and so just off the wall craziness. Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be like one of those absolute train wreck movies that are just like Napoleon Dynamite. An absolute train wreck, but it's hilarious and becomes a cult classic. Most
likely, especially with Peter. I have yet to see something with Peter Dinklage I did not like.
Right. He's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
He's hilarious, and he likes to make fun of himself, which is great. And he drinks and he knows things, man.
So I actually watched the preview to the Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah, I saw it too. The newest trailer.
I actually kind of really like how this one's looking.
It does. It actually looks good. I mean, let's be real. I like the original with Jessica Alba and why can't I think of his name? Captain America.
Chris
himself.
Chris what? I can't
Chris
remember.
Evans. Yes,
Chris
Evans. Yeah, with that, like that was I liked that version. I mean, the new one with Robert B. Jordan in it was kind of terrible, but I mean, it got a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. So funny thing
bad.
about the reason why the Chris Evans one is really good is really because of Deadpool, the last Deadpool.
No, it was good before that. Like I enjoyed it before then. It was campy, but it was good. But yes, when you see Chris Evans and he's running up and you think, oh my gosh, Captain America's in this? What the heck? He long lost Captain America, and then all of a sudden he says, "Flame on!" You're like, what? Yes, I was so excited when I saw that. But yeah,
gotta love Deadpool making fun of the fact that you're using the same actor for two different characters.
Right, exactly. And I did like that version though. I thought it was good.
It was good. It was
a little campy, but it followed like along the same campiness as like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, which by the way is coming back to theaters as a 2.1 version. The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Yeah, that's what they're calling it. It's apparently like remastered in some way, but they're bringing the original Spider-Man trilogy with Tobey Maguire back to theaters. I saw that too.
That's weird.
I love those movies. That's kind of, I mean, like I said, the Fantastic Four of the old followed that line of silliness and campiness, and I liked them. I thought they were good.
So what I liked about the original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man is this one scene. One scene sold it for me.
The upside down kiss?
No, where he caught everything on the tray. He literally caught everything on the tray.
Yeah, he actually did that. It was real. Yeah, I read about that. He even shocked himself. That look of surprise was real. Like, he's like, "What? I did it!" Like, sweet. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I don't know. I like that all those movies. I thought they were great. I loved that. Gosh, man, I am having a hard problem with names right now. But the guy who plays in the Evil Dead movies, I love that he was in every single one of them in a different role. Like he was what the gym teacher, I think, in one, and then he was like the usher in the movie theater in one, and he was the guy in the restaurant in one of them. Like in every single one, he has like a little Bruce Campbell. That's his
Yeah.
name. Yeah, he's in all of them. I thought that was kind of cool, and I love when they do those neat little cameos, like Lou
Mhm.
Ferrigno being in the Incredible Hulk and stuff like that. Like,
Oh, of
just kind of
course.
makes me laugh. But yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm really excited for the new Fantastic Four. I think they finally are going to do it all right. I love Pedro Pascal. I think he's great in everything he's in. Um, another guy from Game of Thrones, just like Peter
Mhm.
Dinklage, that we love in everything he's in.
Oh, of course. But see, what sold me with Pedro Pascal is The Mandalorian.
Yeah, even though you don't
Even
know it's him for the longest.
Yeah, but his voice, even his voiceover work was really good.
Yeah.
The tone he brought to the character was excellent.
Yep. Agreed. And then, lastly, in the news, last week we talked about Spaceballs 2
Yes, we
finally being
did.
announced. They finally do it. Well, Mel Brooks, at almost 100 years old, decided that he's just going to go out with a bang. And he is also working on another really big project. It's a prequel to his Young Frankenstein movie. He's making a very young Frankenstein TV series.
See, I
And he
think
is
that'll go over well, though.
he's going to be the executive director on it. And I think that'll yeah,
If
I mean, Young Frankenstein was hilarious. All of
if
Mel Brooks' movies are hilarious. So
I can't argue this, and if young Sheldon can do really well, I think very young Frankenstein will do well.
it's probably going to be a little bit different, but
They'll be a
yeah,
little
I
bit
agree.
different, but they're both comedies for most
Right,
part.
exactly. And I mean, anything Mel Brooks. I've
Well,
never seen a serious Mel Brooks movie.
if Mel Brooks wants to go out with a bang, the one thing he can do is actually create Blazing Saddles 2.
And Princess Bride too.
I thought that I heard something about them working on Princess Bride,
What?
either a sequel.
That would be amazing.
I'm checking it right now.
I hear you typing away.
Yep.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Princess Bride, like it's been a long time.
Let's see. There were discussions of a book.
The one thing I always thought was cool about the Princess Bride was like the version I have. I don't know if it's all versions, but the version I have, whether you have it right side up or upside down,
Mm-hmm.
the cover still makes sense and it still says Princess Bride. Like the way they spelled out the words, it's the same
Oh,
forwards and
yeah.
backwards, like upside down or right side up. And I don't know why that always resonated with me. I'm like, okay, I get fascinated by the tiniest, weirdest little details.
But it's really easy to get excited about these kinds of things because it's stuff that you don't see in a lot of
Right.
artworks these days.
I miss the days of creativity.
Mm-hmm.
We were actually talking about that today about like me and you about like the difference between back in the day. Like I was telling Rook, back in the day, I used to be able to put in a Nintendo game and play it. Now I'm
Mm-hmm.
having an issue where my PlayStation account got hacked and somebody stole my username, so I can't sign into my PlayStation Network, so it won't let me play any game on my PS5 right now. Since I can't sign into the PlayStation Network, it doesn't matter if I have a disc. It doesn't matter if I have the game, the physical copy of the game. I cannot play it without signing into my PlayStation Network, and that has got me infuriated.
I can see that. I hope they figure out how to
Yeah,
fix
all I
it.
got to do is get a hold of customer support, but I can't call them on the weekend because they're not open. So I tried going through the online customer support, and it gave me a message saying, "Yeah, you need to talk to somebody. Call during these hours." So
Mm-hmm.
since I still have not gotten a text about work tomorrow, I'll probably just call tomorrow while I'm at home not working.
Yeah, I'm not sure how accurate this post is, but there's a post that's on X that says The Princess Bride 2 Ever After. Um, they have officially announced it, but take this with a grain of salt because I can't verify it in a lot of different places.
Okay,
So
makes sense. So it's possible.
it's
I
possible.
also I also saw while I was searching through for different like news articles stuff. I saw that they the Malcolm in the Middle revival has got like a little subtitle now. It's called Malcolm in the Middle: Life's Still Not Fair, or Life's Still Unfair.
that sounds legit.
That's amazing. For those of you who have never watched Malcolm in the Middle, the theme song, the last line of the theme song is "Life is unfair." So yeah, they did. Life is still unfair as their subtitle. I thought that was hilarious. I'm actually excited about it. I love Malcolm in the Middle. I think I've seen every episode of that show probably 10 times. I watched it. I
Nice.
watched it again. I watched it again. And then my daughter started watching it. So then I watched it through with her, and me and her have watched it a few different times. That and Scrubs. Except Scrubs is not a revival. They're doing a reboot of Scrubs, and that I'm not sure about.
So is it really a reboot or is it Scrubs with a new cast? With a new cast and new characters.
From the sound of what from what I heard, it's a reboot.
So
which means it's the same characters but a new cast, and they're going to start from the beginning when they first show up at the hospital, and like it's just a reboot.
See, a lot of the things are calling reboots from what I'm seeing lately. Like they're calling the new Jurassic
spinoff,
the new Jurassic Park movie. It's a soft reboot of the franchise, but you're still going with the story. It's really a sequel to.
Yeah, it's just a spinoff.
Yeah, it's
a
not
new story in the same world about a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Also, since we have a few minutes here, anyway, I saw a press conference today when I was scrolling through TikTok about the Fast and the Furious finale.
Oh, yeah, with Vin Diesel?
Yep.
Announcing it on the stage? Yep.
You saw him announcing it on the stage? Yep. And he always said, like he's been saying, the only way he'll do it is under 3 conditions, because it's what all the fans want. And they announced that those conditions have been met.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, it's going back to LA. Number 2, it's going back to street racing.
Mm-hmm.
And number 3, Dominic Toretto's getting reunited with Brian O'Connor.
What's cool about that is, did you see who was in the background behind him when he was talking?
His brother. Yeah. His brother.
That was cool.
It's Paul Walker's brother, who does look a lot like him, and he actually, like, when Paul Walker died, the last movie that he was in, his brother filmed quite a few of those scenes, like from behind, like not showing his face. But I'm fairly certain if they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it with CGI. Like they'll CGI it in some way to make it look like
I think they will do because at the end, not at the end, but there were a couple of scenes where you could actually see Paul Walker and his face, that they digitally imposed the head of Paul Walker onto his brother's body.
Right, because they have a very similar build and stuff. That's probably what they'll do. They'll CGI him over his brother, and his brother will do like all the acting or like all the
acting.
Yeah. But I love it. Every part of me loves that, but I don't know how they're going to go from super secret agent spies who go to space in cars back to street racing. Like, I don't know how you're going to just go from that back to their roots. Like, it's
I
gonna
got a
be
feeling.
interesting.
I got a feeling somebody is going to wake up from like a coma or something, and all of that weird
They better not.
spy
They better not
CIA.
retcon it like that. That would be so silly. Yeah, none of the other movies actually happened. To pull a Lost, like, this was all just purgatory, and it wasn't real. Like, don't do it. You can't. Don't do it. I don't want them to do that. I would be mad if that's what they did.
They got to retcon it because there's no way you go from unknown street racers to super spies in space in a car back to unknown street racers.
There have been some really ridiculous scenes in those movies, though, man. Like jumping a car off a cliff, and then a rope just happening to wrap around the wheel and swing the car all the way around the island and land them, and then fall off just to land the car safely on the other end. Like, there's a 0.0% chance of that ever happening.
Yeah, there's a 0.000 to the 10th power 1.
or like the scene where they're dragging the safe through the town.
Hey, they tried duplicating that on, was it Mythbusters?
Mythbusters.
Is either Mythbusters
I can see that on I can see Mythbusters doing something silly like that, but those movies are a guilty pleasure of mine, though. I do like all of them. I really, really like the first two the best before it gets crazy. And I do like Tokyo Drift too, even though it's like, again, like a spinoff, even though it still counts in the series.
I like the first two. Tokyo Drift was awesome. There's the one where it brings it all back full circle to where how what's his name knows Toretto, the main driver from Tokyo Drift.
Oh yeah, Han.
Yeah, brings it all back circle to where they know each other.
Technically the main one, but yeah.
But outside of that, the newer stuff with The Rock, I like The Rock as an actor, but when he got involved in the movies, they just went too. That was during the big action movie kick.
And then they're like, well, The Rock isn't drawing as much of a crowd as we want. What else can we do? Oh, let's bring John Cena into it, too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, you thought this character was dead? Let me show you. He's not dead. Like,
yeah.
Every new one, you're like, all right, who's going to come back from the dead in this one?
Yeah, see, that's the problem I have with this series is you look at it and you're like, all right, cool. The first ones were all about street racing. All right, awesome. The next ones were about them being super spies. Made no sense whatsoever. And it was during that kick of action movies where action movies were the thing.
And then you got Jason Momoa, who, have you seen the new one?
Mm-mm.
Jason Momoa plays the villain, and he just, like, nothing about him makes any sense. He's just a psychopath. A very, very good psychopath who has access to too much money and too much time. It's like some of the things he does for no reason. Like, literally, there's no motivation whatsoever to what he does. There's no motivation.
What you're telling me is it sounds like somebody had an idea of what Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos would do if they had money and made a character.
If they had money?
Oh, if they went evil. If they went full evil. I was going to
say, the two richest men in the world, if they had money.
If they wanted to be evil empires.
Yeah. It'd be weird.
Yeah. I just haven't really been interested in the newer Fast and the Furious movies. And what sold me on them original ones was the street racing. And when they went to the other stuff, it's like, I'm just not interested anymore.
I just don't understand. Why are you doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Dominic, go steal some radios from a truck. Like, they went from paying the bills by stealing radios to suddenly they have so much money that they can just have, like, the weirdest things on their cars that I don't know.
Yeah. So anyhow, let's get to our final topic.
Yes.
Because...
Now let's talk about Final Fantasy now that we've gone off the rails.
All right. So, as I mentioned earlier, Magic the Gathering and Square Enix got together for a Final Fantasy collab, which turned out to be one of the most epic things ever.
Yeah. The cards can't stay on the shelf long enough. People are going bananas over them. Some of these cards are a bit overpowered, in my opinion, though. Like, some of them are way, way, way strong. Like, there's one, oh gosh, I don't remember which one it was. There was one, oh, Lightning. Lightning is just, that card is bonkers. Let me find it.
There's Vincent Valentine.
Yeah, he's strong.
They might be overpowered, but when you look at Vincent Valentine, his cost is ridiculous. He costs 2 mountain, 1 swamp, and 4 colorless. Legendary creature, horror researcher.
Not too bad.
Shadow. This creature cannot be blocked this creature can block or be blocked by only creatures with shadow. All right. He tap them, pay 5 life, deal 5 damage to each creature you don't control. That's a cool power because it's not overpowered since you're using your own life. Now, granted, I'm out of touch with Magic the Gathering since 7th edition. I played before 7th edition. So,
yeah, I mean, you could have
gaining is crazy in this game.
You can have some really crazy life gain decks, that's for sure. What you said, he's mountain though?
2 mountain, 1 swamp.
Yeah, so red and black. See, most really big. Well, black does have a lot of life link stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
they do.
Partnered with black, that would be pretty nasty. Most of the big life gain is in green, but like there's a ton like vampire decks and stuff. Like he'd probably go good in a vampire. What is he a legendary vampire?
He's legendary creature horror researcher.
Okay, so he's not. See, in the games he was a vampire, so you'd think they'd make him a vampire. That would
so
make sense.
His ability does fit for a red and black deck, though.
Yeah. So, but get this, okay? Lightning, army of 1, costs 1 colorless, 1 red, 1 white. That's it. So 3 mana to bring it out. Has first strike, trample, lifelink, and stagger. Whenever lightning deals combat damage to a player, until your next turn, if any source would deal damage to that player or that permanent that player controls, it deals double damage instead.
Yeah.
So if lightning attacks, anybody else who attacks that player will do double damage to him. Like, for 3 mana, and it's a 3/2 creature, or a 3/2 creature. I mean, it's a legendary creature. So, like, that's insane. And human soldiers, so, like, that would go perfect in a soldier deck. Like, I have a really, really good soldier deck. And if that card was in my soldier deck, wow. That's nuts. I mean, obviously, it's not as good if you're playing, like, just head-to-head with somebody. But if you're playing in a game with, like, 3 or 4 people, that's nuts. You can, like, team up on somebody and just eliminate them in 1 round.
Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but naturally, there's some cards in this series that are just absolutely bonkers experience. Like, there's the chocobos. Like, they're called traveling chocobos. There are some of them that are worth like $1,300.
Yeah, for those who are curious, traveling chocobo is a 3 mana creature. It's 1 forest, 2 colorless creature bird. And it says you may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may play lands and cast bird spells from the top of your library. If a land or bird you control entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time.
Yeah, it's a pretty dang good card. I could see, but yeah, like, ridiculously expensive. Like, $1,400 for that if you pull that card.
I think it's because it's rare to get, and like I said at the beginning of the show, is people are buying them off the shelves before anybody can actually get them.
One of my favorite Go ahead.
The Japanese borderless traveling chocobo is on tcgplayer.com. Oh my God.
$3,800.
$6,500.
Is it the black one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this site shows it at $3,800 for the Japanese version. Obviously, it's gonna be harder to get the Japanese versions, but yeah, one of my favorite characters from any Final Fantasy game is Vivi, the black mage from Final Fantasy 9, and I was telling Rook this before the show. His ability is nuts. So whenever you cast any non-creature spell, you put a 1/1 counter on him. He starts as a 0/3, and he only costs 3 mana to put out. 1 colorless, 1 blue, 1 red. So he starts as 0/3. But anytime you cast any non-creature spell, he gets a 1/1 counter on him. And then for 0 mana cost, you add X mana in any combination of blue or red, where X is the number of Vivi's power. So every time you play a non-creature spell, he gets 1 more power, and you get free mana. Red or blue,
Nice.
however you want to split it. It's like, that is nuts.
There's a lot of crazy ones in here. My brother actually went out and bought them, and I haven't looked through them all yet, but there's a card called Cloud Planet's Champion. It's a legendary creature, human soldier mercenary. And it goes, during your turn, as long as Cloud is equipped, it has double strike and is indestructible.
And is indestructible?
Yep. This creature deals both first strike and regular combat damage. Damage and effects that say destroy don't destroy this creature. And equip abilities you activate that target Cloud costs 2 less to activate.
Yeah, there's a Cloud Midgar's Mercenary that when Cloud enters, search your library for an equipment card, reveal it and put it in your hand, and then shuffle. As long as Cloud is equipped, if an ability of Cloud or an equipment attached to it triggers, that ability triggers an additional time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I was wrong about Vincent Valentine. I retract all my statements about it. It looks like it was made as a custom commander.
Oh, he's a commander card?
Mm-hmm. He's not from this series. I'm not sure what he's from. It looks like he might have been somebody's custom card or something.
Oh, okay.
But some of the art on these cards is just crazy.
Great.
Like Kefka Court Mage.
Oh, I love that card.
Whenever
that card looks so cool.
Attacks, each player discards a card, then you draw a card for each card type among cards discarded this way.
Plus, there's like a whole new line. Like, I don't even know how this works. It says it's an enchantment creature, but it's like, it's a summon card. Like, there's all the summons from Final Fantasy. But I'm not sure how they work, because it shows like there's a stage 1, 2, 3, and 4 on this Bahamut card I'm looking at. He costs 9 to put out, but he's a 9/9 flying. And like stage 1 and 2 destroy up to 1 target non-land permanent. Stage 3 you can draw up to 2 cards. And stage 4 is Mega Flare. This creature deals damage equal to the total mana value of other permanents you control to each opponent. Holy crap.
Wow. Now, are you making sure the bottom of that card has all of the Final Fantasy VII Wizards of the Coast and
it does.
Square Enix stuff? That's what caught me where I made a mistake with Vincent. All right.
Damage equal to the total mana value of all other permanents you control. And he costs 9/9, so by that point you should have lots of stuff out. And he does that damage to all opponents?
Let's see. Yeah, that's crazy.
How, like, yeah, I'm not sure how you would get, you would evolve them up to stage 4, though.
Holy cow. So, all the cards I'm seeing about equipping Cloud, right? If you equip his Buster Sword,
the Buster Sword is nice.
3 mana, and equipped creature gets +3/+2. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Then you may cast a spell from your hand with mana value less than or equal to that damage without paying its mana cost.
Yeah. Well, it costs 3 to put out and then 2 to equip it. But
yeah, but then the Cloud card that I saw says, oh, yeah, Cloud costs less to equip.
Oh, nice.
But it's also an expensive one. All right, Summon Bahamut. Costs 9. As this saga enters, and after you draw your draw step, add a war counter. Sacrifice after 4. So he's out for 4 turns.
So
each turn
the
he
war
goes
counter.
up.
Yeah, each turn you get a war counter, but he does one of those things, like destroy a permanent, draw 2 cards, and then after the 4th one, he mega flares and kills everybody.
Yeah, but then you lose him.
It won't matter at that point. If he costs 9 to put out, you gotta imagine you probably have like 30 total mana out right now, like 30 total mana costs. So you're gonna do 30 damage to every player.
Yeah, but you're also
playing
hoping...
Commander. If you're playing Commander, that's instant win.
That's true.
The problem is you got to not only get to 9 mana, but then you have to like also like...
I don't know. Some of these builds I've seen and some of these decks that I've seen on TikTok videos and whatnot, they get out like 20 mana really fast within the first 2 turns.
With that VV card. Okay, so say you get that VV card, and then you put the Buster Sword on VV. That gives him 3 power right there, plus any other spells you've been casting. So now he's like got 8 or 9 mana right there. Bam, you got your Bahamut out. Like,
oh yeah, I'm so, like I said before, I am so out of touch with Magic and how it runs these days. I would lose every game I ever tried playing.
Yeah, some of these cards are super overpowered, but like, honestly, there's a few of these cards that I would really like in a couple decks that I have, but my Sliver deck would still wreck them all. I love my Sliver deck is untouchable.
So here's
challenge issued.
Here's Shiva, summon Shiva, Heavenly Strike for the first 2. Tap target creature and opponent controls, put a stun counter on it. And then Diamond Dust, draw a card for each tapped creature your opponents control.
I knew Diamond Dust was going to be it. Like,
I got some good ones.
I kind of want to look into the rules of this deck, like of these cards, and see if there's like you're only allowed to have like 1 summon, or you're only allowed to have like 1 version of Cloud, or like, because obviously there's multiple different versions of Cloud.
Yeah, there's multiple different versions of Cloud, Sephiroth. I'm looking at Sephiroth right here. Apparently, they changed the rules of haste, and then they now call it Vigilance.
Vigilance is different than haste. Vigilance is...
it doesn't cause them to tap. That's right.
Right.
Haste allows you to avoid summoning sickness.
Yes.
So attacking doesn't cause this creature to tap. When Sephiroth enters, creatures your opponent controls get -2/-2 until the end of turn. Whenever a creature opponent controls dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Sephiroth. Jesus.
So if you're playing against somebody who has a bunch of like 2 or less creatures, and you put out Sephiroth, all those creatures die, and he instantly gets a bunch of +1/+1 counters.
Or even better, a bunch of token creatures. All right, it's your turn. What now? Sephiroth. Poof.
Well, this other Sephiroth Fabled Soldier, is another version of Sephiroth in this set. Whenever he enters or attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, draw a card. Whenever another creature dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. If this is the 4th time this ability has resolved, transform him. So I wonder if the version... wonder if the version you saw is the transformed version.
The one I saw is Sephiroth's planet's heir. It doesn't look like he's transformed. It looks like he's in human avatar soldier.
Yeah, that's what this one looks like too.
Yeah, it
doesn't show the transform version of any of these cards. So a lot of them say transform.
Yeah, I haven't seen the transform ones yet. Cloud Planet's champion that I read earlier, he would equip the Buster Sword for free because they cost 2 less to equip to him. Jeez. So here's what we're talking about when we say there's multiple different versions of a character. So I just told you Cloud Planet's champion. The very next card they showed, Cloud X Soldier.
Yep,
Haste.
I saw that one too.
Yeah, when Cloud enters, Attach up to one target equipment you control to it. When he attacks, draw a card for each equipped attacking creature you control. Then, if Cloud has 7 power or greater, create 2 treasure tokens.
Well, yeah, then the one I read was Cloud Midgard's Mercenary. So there's at least 3 different versions of Cloud that we've talked about so far.
Oh, this is great. There's an enchantment called Side Quest, Catch a Fish. It's a picture of fishing. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top of your library. If it's an artifact or creature card, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. If you put a card into your hand this way, create a food token and transform this enchantment. But what's the transform?
I don't know. I'm not sure. But, I mean, this is kind of on par with some of the Planeswalkers, though. Some of the Planeswalkers, like, I have a Planeswalker, it's Nissa Ravane, that once you have enough tokens on her, I think it's like 6? Question mark. I'm not sure 100%. But once you have enough tokens on her, her ability is get rid of all the tokens and search your deck for any number of elf cards and put them on the battlefield. Any number of elf cards. So if you have an elf deck, you can literally put every one of your elves out at once.
Wow.
And just go to town.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And like her ability to gain points is tap and get 1 life for every elf you control.
So I'm on MTG Magic's website, Wizards website for MTG. Okay. And they have a section called Score Chocobo. There's a black, yellow, pink, and blue chocobos.
Mm-hmm.
I did not realize
there's a gold one too, isn't there?
Not that I see. Oh wait, and a green one.
Yeah, there's a yellow, blue, pink, green, black, and then there's a gold one.
I didn't see the gold one. The yellow one's really bright though. I'm looking to see if they explain what transform is, but they're not. There is a traveling chocobo, which is a special design of the card. Doesn't have any of its ability text or whatnot.
Why is it showing this? Oh, go away.
But I'm not seeing what transform is, and this is going to bug me after we get off the show.
Why isn't it letting me?
All right. Hell, I'm trying to understand some of these transform.
This is it right here. So see how there's this gold one?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
And then there's the yellow ones.
They have the gold one, which doesn't have any of its combat text on it. It's just literally the bird and its stats.
Yeah.
Let's see. But what does transform mean?
I'm not sure.
Everything I'm seeing, nothing's really explaining what transform is.
Well, there's other cards, like, and it's got that arrow on the bottom. All of them that can transform have, like, that arrow on the bottom. Well, all of them do, actually. So that's weird. But usually, like, when it says transform, you flip the card over, and there's something different on the other side of the card. Like, there's a lot of vampires and stuff that do that, where you transform them, and then they switch to their vampire form, or, like, werewolf cards.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on the other side, and then it's, like, it has different abilities. But these don't show those, so I don't know.
Okay, so it looks like the transform would be you flip it. Because I'm reading this, and a lot of the transform cards, like you said, flip. They don't really show the other side of the cards, though, which is kind of annoying.
Let me see if I can find a Sephiroth MTG transform.
Let's see. Okay, yeah. So they have 2 sides to the card. On the back side, there's one called Terra Magical Adept. It talks about when Terra enters, mill 5 cards, put up to 1 enchantment card milled this way into your hand. Trance, exile her, then return to battlefield transformed under its owner's control. And then it says, on the description, it says back, and you can flip the card, and it shows the transformed version.
Yeah, here, let me show you. This is a version of, this is that Sephiroth card I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
This is him, and then once he transforms, he turns into Sephiroth One Wing Angel, which is
Yeah.
the best video game song ever made, by the way. Which gives him these abilities: Supernova. As this creature transforms into Sephiroth One Wing Angel, you, man, I can't hardly read. I don't have my
You
glasses
get
on.
an emblem with whenever a creature dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Whenever Sephiroth attacks, you may sacrifice any number of other creatures. If you do, draw that many cards.
How is that any different than before he transforms?
As he
Any number?
transforms, you get an emblem with whenever a creature dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life.
Yeah, but over here, whenever another creature dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life too.
If this is the 4th time this ability has resolved, transform him. But once he
and then he does the same thing.
Yeah.
The only difference is whenever Sephiroth attacks, you may sacrifice any number, where this one you can only sacrifice 1 creature.
Another creature, and that one says any number of creatures. If you do, draw that many cards. So slightly overpowered.
So it gives you a little extra there.
And I do think that the diamond on the card means it is a transform card on the back. Because beside their names,
the bottom?
No, at the take Sephiroth, if you look at that image again,
okay,
it will show by his name should show a little up triangle, and then when you flip them, it shows a down triangle.
Okay, I see. Up, down. Okay.
And the only ones that I'm seeing with that actual triangle at the bottom are I stand corrected. All of them look like they have it. It looks like.
Yeah, I was going to say they all look like they have that.
It's by the name is the one where it tells you if it transforms.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
because I see a couple other that transform that also have that.
So our fans are getting to learn this with us.
Yeah, this is like Terra Magical Adept. She also transforms. Yeah, Kefka also transforms. Has it? Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, needless to say, I want to get my hands on some of these cards. Hopefully, I draw like when I pull a couple packs, I get a couple of them chocobos, because that would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'd sell them immediately, maybe. I don't know.
I would. Then I put it to my house in California.
Magic the Gathering cards gain value like crazy, though. So I hate, like, it's hard selling it when you could just turn around and like a month later it'll be worth 3 times as much,
Mm-hmm. True.
So,
anyhow, we are way over time right now.
Not way over. Yeah,
12 minutes
Holy
over.
Cow.
13
Holy
minutes.
All right. So, yeah, that'll be, if you want to reach the show for any reason, you could email us at, raw podcast. Well, I think right now. rawpodcast@gmail.com. No,
podcastraw@gmail.com.
Wow. I'm like, my brain is not working today. podcastraw@gmail.com. You can reach us. We check it daily. So feel free to reach out if you want to contact us about advertising or anything, being on the show, having something put on the show.
Inside scoop. Anytime you email us, it pings our phones because we're both linked to the email.
Exactly. Or if you just want to chat with us or want to get a hold of us quicker, go on Discord. Our Discord is discord.gg/raw podcasts.
Yep.
And we're yeah, I'm like so confused right now. But yeah, we're on there all the time. Whenever we're jump in, join us in chat. We're on there all the time. I'm on there anytime I'm playing Dune. I'm usually in chat talking with people. We've had a lot of people. Nickster's been in there with us a lot lately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nickster, Mossy's been in there a lot. War Makita joins us from time to time.
War Makita, yeah, he plays with us. He's in our guild on
Dune, yeah.
On Dune. So yeah, we also need more people in our guild. So if you want to play with us, let us know. We'll let you know where we're at, and you can come play with us. So,
yep. Thanks, Mossy. I've gotten back into Starfield, so I gotta get shout out to him. We love when y'all join us because it makes doing this show worthwhile.
It's fun listening, like, and playing with you guys. Like whenever we play with the War Makita, like it's cool because we're making new friends and stuff through the
He
show,
helped me move
and
my
that's what we
base
want to do.
today.
Yeah, he helped Rook move his base over to his new monstrosity that he had to make bigger than mine.
But
Salty.
anyhow, you can also reach us out on just a little salty. You can also reach us out on Facebook at Raw Podcasts. You can reach us on Instagram at Raw Podcast 1. We also have an X. I believe that's Podcast Raw.
Yeah, that one's Podcast Raw. Don't check that one near as much. I'm not really a big X person.
Ever since everything got way political, and that's all the feeds on there, I really haven't gotten on there because I avoid all that stuff. I like keeping our show upbeat.
Agreed. Or you could find us individually. You can find me anywhere at the Archon606.
And you can find me everywhere at some variation of Tomcat213 or Rook213.
Well, you guys have a great week and stay nerdy out there.
What he said.